Good morning. Pigtails never look great on video. What can you do? Just wait for you to come on. What can you do? Just wait for you to come on. Hello. All right, I'm just going to turn the volume down. I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to read the blog post that I posted earlier this morning, but in it I'm talking about, it's one of my 16 lessons that I learned in 2016. And if you're reading them, you'll probably notice that most of these lessons I didn't learn in 2016, but I've learned over the years. But thought it was a nice little way to get the message through, and people are really enjoying the blog, so it's great. And I love to have a framework around stuff. Morning, everybody. Hey, Paul. So what I want to have a chat with you about this morning is just, I'm going to expand a little bit on the blog post that I wrote, which is really about you need to have a methodology to be able to really get to a place of freedom in your business. So for me, what people are seeing right now is me on the tail end of having spent almost 2 years really developing a very solid system, which is my 12-month Mastermind program or my 12-month KickAss Academy. And it's basically a 12-step process that takes female entrepreneurs from struggling to 6 figures. It's a proven methodology. I've been using it for 2 years now. I'd run the program 2 times through before I created the online version of the program. And I disciplined myself to just hone my skills over that program over 2 years. And so what is the result of that is a business that made money very, very quickly, and a lot of money very quickly, but it also allowed me the freedom to really grow my skills in that area. And so as I took people through these 12 modules, I got better and better at it as I went. Morning, Annalise. And so it's created a really sustainable and successful business. And what people are seeing now is me going, that's a great idea for a program, I'm going to run it. And I have the idea for the program and I'm selling it the same day. You know, it's awesome and I love it, and I'm in this place of really creative freedom, I guess. But what I want to say about that is you can't get to this place from the beginning. You can't jump. There's no shortcut to that. You actually have to do the part in the middle, which is the discipline around, you know, female entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general usually have so many ideas racing through their head. And they go, I've got this great idea for a business, and they come up with a business name, and then they say, I've got, and this is what I want to offer. And there's no real system behind it. And instead what it is a whole bunch of ideas, and these unstructured ideas end up on a website, and they're left scratching their head and wondering why people aren't signing up or buying. And it's because people don't trust that there's a process behind it. What I want to see is a proven methodology. Before I sign up to anything, what I want to see is that the person that I am working with has a set goal for me. They're going to take me from here to here, and they know how to do that. And that's missing a lot of the time for people. And what they, hey Lolita, and what they tend to do is go, right, I've got this idea for a program, I've got this idea for a business, I'm going to create an online program. And then they want to be throwing random ideas around as well, and it's just such a hodgepodge mix. And for the outside looking in, it's very confusing. The messages are very confusing, and people aren't going to sign up because it's too confusing. You know, they don't know what they're going to get. So if you're in that place, if you're in this place of having an idea and trying to, you know, build a business around it, but you haven't set up a methodology around it, then you're going to struggle. Let's be honest. I'm going to bring up my KickAss Academy online, and I'm going to tell you about my methodology. And if you go and head over and have a look at the page for the KickAss Academy online, and I'll post it in here for you actually, so that you can see it. I'm just going to post it in the comments for now. But when you go there, the first thing, if you click on it, you'll see what we cover. If you click on what we cover, and you'll see that the first part of my methodology is we need to uncover what your entrepreneurial sweet spot is. You know, it's foundational. We need to understand exactly what your entrepreneurial sweet spot is so that you're working smack bang in the middle of that. You're doing what you love. you're doing what you're really amazing at, and you're doing what people are willing to pay money for. If you're missing any of those things, then it's not a sustainable business, and it's not going to be a scalable business either. You know, it's key that you have all of those things in place. Hey, Leah. And then the next part from there is developing a brand that's a true essence of you. So I know that, you know, you can, when we find our entrepreneurial sweet spot and we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing, we're doing what we're called to do, we know people want it, that's all great. But if your brand is crappy and it's not, it doesn't make sense to people, or it's not fully aligned to you and what you do, then that's where you're going to fall down. So my methodology is, I know you need to be in your entrepreneurial sweet spot, but I also need to know that you need to have a brand that gets attention, a brand that speaks to who you are, because that's what makes us all individual and unique. And then the next part of the methodology is we need to create a bunch of products or programs, usually with the people that I work with, that your clients are going to love. And it starts from one end of the price scale all the way through to high end. I teach people how to build that out. That's part of my methodology. I honestly 100% believe that you need a set of products, even though it's programs, I still call them products, that are available at all price points. That is why my business is successful. I have programs that are worth $25,000, and I have programs that are worth $197. And that's why my business is successful. And a lot of those people that come in at those, thanks Jean, and a lot of the people that come in at the low price point move up into my higher level offerings because they've had an opportunity to work with me. They've had an opportunity to see how I roll, and that they're getting a result. They've had some wins, and then they know they can put their trust in me. So that's another part of my methodology. It's proven, it's tested, it works. Then after that, we talk about a professional photo shoot. You can't have an amazing looking, beautiful looking professional website with a photo that your boyfriend took of you standing on the beach. It just doesn't work. You know, you need to create some sort of polished version of it. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to have their photos that look like mine do. In fact, I'm going to have another photo shoot because I don't think the ones that I have on my website anymore really reflect where I am right now. So that's an ever evolving thing. But you need to put your best foot forward professionally. You know, you really need to be able to do that visually so people are engaged, because that's important. So you can't half-ass that. You have to do that fully and properly. Doesn't need to cost a lot of money, but you just need to know exactly what that needs to look like, and that's part of the methodology. You know, you need to have visual tools to help show people what your brand looks like visually. It needs to be represented visually, and the way to do that is through photos. And then we talk about your online presence and making sure your website and all of your social and everything like that come together. How to run Facebook ads, all of that's important. Online presence is key. That's a fundamental. That's part of my methodology. Launch strategy, knowing that you don't just, I mean, for me now, I do. I've got an idea and I launch it in a day. But if you're just starting out and you haven't been around the block a few times in business like I have, then that's not what you want to be doing. You want to make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. You want to make sure you have a complete product, and then you want to launch it in a way that feels good for you. You know, so I'm not talking about spamming people's inboxes if that's not what you want. I'm talking about developing a launch strategy that works specifically for you. And that's part of my methodology. And then the next part is visibility and content mastery. You'll see that I am all about content. I want to be of as much value to my people as I can, because when I'm giving value, I feel good, but it also means that people get to experience me before they pay a cent. They get to know what it feels like to be in my world, the way that I operate, the way that I go about things, you know, my take on the world. They get to see all of that through my content. So visibility and content mastery, again, is a key fundamental. It's part of my methodology. Self-publish your book is the next one. I believe that everybody has a book in them. That book is going to be different for everybody, and I believe that one of the best ways that we can hone our skills, that we can hone exactly what we have in our head, is to write a book. Because when you have to get this down on paper in a systemized, methodical kind of approach, it helps you to really unpack what it is that you do and how you do it. And so I believe that, you know, even if you never publish it, but the act of writing a book and disciplining yourself to sit down every day and write and complete it, no one ever regrets it, you know, and it's always, it's a great string to have to your bow as well, to be able to say, I wrote a book, you know, and here it is, I'm holding it in my hands. I believe everybody has the ability to do that, and that's part of it's another fundamental. The next one is SEO strategies. When I first had my first online fitness business, I went SEO too hard, so I'm just gonna not worry about that. I'm just gonna ignore that. And, you know, luckily for me at the time, I could rely on print media, and you know, I was very active in pursuing PR, so I was featured in national newspapers on the weekends and national magazines and all that sort of stuff. But I also did a lot of paid advertising in print media. So luckily I got away with it, but I cringe now and I look at the reach that I could have had and the money that I could have made had I bothered myself with this small thing called SEO. So again, it's a fundamental, everybody needs it, it's part of my methodology. And then we talk about selling through social media. So it's not enough just to be visible. You'll see that I'm selling every single day on social media. Arguably, I'm telling you about this program and I hope that you love it and you might want to go check it out and buy that too. But you can't just deliver content and not ask for the sale in some form or have something to sell. You always have to have something to sell. A lady just came to me this morning about working with me, and I went and had a look at her website, and she'd messaged me with what she does for business, and I looked at her website and I'm like, are you moving into a different direction, because that doesn't seem the same? And she's like, oh no, I'm not, I think you've nailed it. And I said, and I can't see what to buy on your website, there's nothing for me to buy. And she's like, whoops. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. You know, you need to know how, you know, you need to have a way for people to buy from you if you plan to make money in business. It's pretty basic. So we cover that as well. And then we talk about sales conversions and strategies, because the psychology behind selling is difficult, especially for women. And so I have to get these women to a place where they feel 100% comfortable, 100% convicted about selling their stuff. Because you can have the best product in the world, you can be the best person to run it, but if you don't know how to sell it, then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to make any money. So again, it's a key fundamental. It's part of my methodology. And then part 12 is how to partner with other people so that you can get there faster. And again, that's a key principle. It's a key fundamental. It's part of my methodology. So there are 12 steps in my methodology that I believe everybody needs. Now, even if someone comes along to me and they're already an established business, I see holes everywhere. So if somebody comes along to me as a private client, for example, I give them KickAss Academy and say, you need to work through these modules before we meet, and then, you know, we need to map this stuff out, because there's usually always work to be done because they've skipped ahead. And so I can talk about that stuff all day. If someone wants me to go and do a keynote, I can pick any one of those bad boy topics and I can go and speak on it. If I want to create, you know, run a webinar or a free training, I can take any one of those. There's such a depth of information there. There's such a depth of knowledge that I have around those things. So I only am ever going to feel 100% confident to be able to go out and sell that and my work, because at the end of the day, I know it, you know, and it's been proven and I know it works. I have 6-figure entrepreneurs who will be able to attest to the fact that it works. And that's what you need as well. You need a proven methodology. If you don't have that, if you're just flying by the seat of your pants, you are just going to stress yourself out. People are not going to buy in. They're not going to believe you, and they're not going to work with you. They're not going to buy your stuff. And so, as I said, while you see me now, just, you know, oh, I've got an idea for a program and I'm selling it that same day and I run it a week later. I earned this place. You know, I earned this position to be able to have the freedom to do that, the creative freedom to be able to do that, because I did the disciplined stuff first. I disciplined myself to run my live program 2 times, then create the online version, and I'm running that live program again at the moment. And you need that before you can race off and be, you know, coming up with ideas and launching them willy-nilly. Now, I know it's not sexy. I know people want to be able to just do what I do quickly, create a program quickly, get it out there, selling it, and then turn it into an evergreen and all that. I get that. I'm meeting Troy later on today. It's a bit early for beers, 3 o'clock. But if you, you need to discipline yourself to do that stuff first, because without it, you're not going to have the foundation, you're not going to have it underneath you to be able to move forward and get to that place where you can be, have creative freedom. And so I apply this stuff every time that I create something new. There are key fundamentals. I need to know the structure of it. So when I create a really fast program that I decide that I'm going to run, I map it out. When I'm creating the sales page, I'm creating the structure and the framework and everything around it. The content I come up with on the day, because I like to deliver the freshest content always. I'm ever evolving, ever expanding, and I always want the people that are in my trainings to get the very best, the very latest. And so it always is developed off the top of not off the top of my head, it's based on the knowledge that I have, but I create it on the morning of, just because it's fresh, and then I'm excited about it as well. But if you don't have that structure and the methodology, and you don't discipline yourself to create that, then you don't have a product. I've spent so much time with entrepreneurs recently who have ideas, and most of the ideas are content. They're the content ideas. They're not the framework. They're not the system. And so you've got 1,000,001 ideas, and what we need to do is build a framework under which all of those ideas can sit, and it becomes your methodology. So you're doing it already. If you're coaching people right now, it's your job to get people from A to B, right? That's your job, and you're doing it because they come to you, wanting a certain thing, and at the end you've delivered it. Well, hopefully you've delivered it. And what you're doing in between is methodology. Now, everybody, we work with different clients all the time. I never have 2 clients that are the same. So it's not like it's this cookie cutter process, but everything within the KickAss Academy and everything with the clients that I do, it's always, this is the methodology, this is the step in the methodology, and now how do we make it fit for you? How do we get this to work for you specifically and your business? And that's how you want it to be, because what that means is whenever I get to, thank you, Leah. Leah's saying, I'm currently doing the program. I highly recommend it. Great community of women in the group. Michelle gives you so much knowledge, experience, and helps you on your journey to success. It's good to have someone to make. Yeah, I can't read the rest of it, but thank you, Leah. And Leah will know it's quite a journey. Sometimes you start off with an idea. And one of the things that I do in this program, particularly in the KickAss Academy, is I really challenge you to make sure that you are in the right business. So I know for Leah, she started out, she was in one business, ready to move into another business, and then that's changed, and she's had to really sit with that and tease through things and maybe go back a step to be able to get back to where she was, because she's decided, that wasn't quite feeling right. And, a program like that is going to help, like my program and the support that you get in that program, that's what it's about. It's about me helping you to tease that stuff out. No one ever goes forward with an idea and says, this is it, and this is what it's going to be, and is spat out the other end with that exact idea, because it just, when you get in a group like that and you have the lessons that I teach you, it's expanding your thinking, and it expands you to think about what is possible instead of what you have your heart set on. So you might come forward and go, right, this is what I think, and then I open your thinking a little bit and you thought, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. That's what I'm going to do now. And so in an environment like that, you're supported to do that stuff. So if you haven't had a look at my KickAss Academy, go and check it out. It used to be the 12-month program, but I bowed to pressure. People wanted to access all of the modules a lot faster than that, because some people, I do believe it takes a good 12 months to be able to really know yourself and your business and, iron out any issues and stuff like that. But you can move forward, especially those first 3 or 4 modules. You can move through very, very quickly. You might need to come back, but I bowed to pressure, and you can have access to all of it now. So go to the link that I put there. I'll just pop it above the video so you can grab it now if you want to go and have a look. But go and check it out. If you pay in full, you get all of the modules straight away. There's a payment plan of 4 payments, and then you get the first 3 modules on the first payment. The second payment, you get the next 3 modules, which is probably a good time frame. If you've got 4 weeks to work through those modules, then that's really the way to do it. But it will teach you about being disciplined. It's going to teach you to do all of those things that I spoke about, which is let's just get this thing up and running, and let's just practice being experts at what we do. Let's hone our skills, and then we can develop further products from there. It's basically the entrepreneur school, the entrepreneur 101, although it's a little bit, I guess, more high level than that. But I want to take people from this idea of just having an idea to really fully stepping into being a businesswoman, being an entrepreneur, and treating their business seriously like it's a real business, and then going through the steps that are proven. You know, you can be as creative as you want within those steps, but at the end of the day, you know, you've got to, the steps work. And if you try to jump ahead, then you're going to find a gap in your game when you get a little bit further down the track, and you're going to have to backtrack anyway. So I like to discipline everyone to do every single module in its proper sequence, and yeah, just follow the system because it works. And that's what you want to have with your own business as well. You want to be able to say that, you know, just follow my system because it works. I know it works, just follow the system. And if you can say that about your business, and you can run that same system live, or you can run that same system in an online program, or you can create that system as a, you know, a digital download, or you can create that system becomes, you know, in my example, 12 chapters of a book, then that's when you know you've got a really strong systemized methodology that you can do anything with. That's the whole point. We want to be able to do anything we can with it. Anyway, that's it. That's Friday here in Australia. So I'm going to take the weekend off. I may pop in, but there's a good chance I won't. If I don't go live between now and Christmas, have an amazing Christmas, everybody, and enjoy your day with your family. And I know it's not an easy time for everybody. I know Christmas stresses me out a little bit. I get people hangover all the time, being around people too much. But it is a time to really just relax and kick back and enjoy the things that are meaningful to you. And that's certainly what I'm going to do. I'm going to catch up with Troy if you're still on. We're going to catch up for some drinks a little bit later in the afternoon. I'm going to hit the gym now. And then I'm going to spend the weekend just enjoying being around my family. And I'm still going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I'm on a plane to Thailand on Thursday. And then I'll be doing my Facebook Lives from Thailand. You have an amazing Christmas too, Annalise, and thank you everybody. It's been an amazing year. This isn't it for the year for me. I'll be back next week, but enjoy your Christmas, and I'm thinking of you all, and thank you for being a part of my world. Bye.